This brief snippet relates to contract growers who raise livestock on behalf of vendors, and specifically to a sample form FO 05350619 contract growers coverage. There is an exclusion for livestock owned, rented, leased, or borrowed by an insured.
Ooh.
So I saw that exclusion and I said, "Oh, so what is this endorsement doing?"
Right.
So what do you think? Is a contract growing, is that owned, rented, leased, borrowed? What's going on?
Ton is the coverage attorney, so yeah. Tonda's
yeah, take a look at that
prior experience and tell us, Tonda, what do you think?
I think it's trying to differentiate situations where it's more of, I don't know, a loose
for a first party
relationship.
Contract,
yeah. And because it already said care, custody, and control.
Right.
So I think right there, they're creating a more formal relationship between the owner of the property and the insured. And I think what they're trying to do is to differentiate that between basically, somebody dropping something off, your family sending over the chickens, or, you're doing something on the side that's not as formal. So I think they're really trying to capture those more formal relationships between the party and not provide coverage for those situations where, it's basically you're just doing something, help somebody out, and there's really not a business relationship. So that's my guess. What do you think, Mike?
I'm thinking, well, if you look at, let's pretend that this endorsement was attached to the owner's policy. So there I'd say, okay, he's not going to have coverage for his own pigs under his contract because he's the owner. But yeah, I would say here we got to look at where these things, as to the contract grower, they're not owned by him. It's a contract grower. Are they rented to that person? No, taking care of them, feeding them, housing them. Are they leased? Was there an official lease agreement here? I don't know. We'd have to pull that contract, but it doesn't sound like it. And are they borrowed? I don't think they're borrowed. He's business of raising these, almost like you took them in as some kind of what's that? Where you're taking a rescue animal and you raise it as your own, or a foster, right? These are foster swine that he's taken in under the goodness of his own heart. So they're certainly not borrowed, right? So I don't think any of those terms apply here to the contract grower, but that's where we got to go to the courts and say, yeah, we don't think so. They might think so, but I don't see any word there. It talks about, like the last with our chickens, where they're borders. I don't see anything about a border here. So I don't think any of those terms apply, but what do I know?
Yeah, I think you're right. Right on the money, both of you. We started out with care, custody, and control. And I think that's broader than these definitions here. When I first read this, I was like, oh, so this endorsement does nothing at all. But, because I felt like, hey, these animals were leased or borrowed or something. But, contract growing is its own different thing that falls under that care, custody, and control. So it really is taking out these other more narrow areas.